What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about 14 of the best things to do in London. As an American, I am very curious to learn more about the most famous British city that is London. And what I really like about this video that we are going to watch is that this features some of the lesser known gems and cool things to see in London that don't really get talked about all that much. It's like, even here in America, we talk about, okay, you gotta see like Big Ben and Buckingham Palace, but it's not stuff like that. This is promising to be more obscure, like stuff that's like hidden gems, the cool stuff in London that we certainly don't talk about or hear about here in America. That is what I'm excited for. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
Let me share some of the things that I think you need to experience when you visit London, whether it's for the first time or if you're a frequent.
See, wait a minute. What is this thing? Wait, stop. Hold on. Look at this. There's a little sphinx. There's a little Egyptian statue in London. No one ever talks about that. I don't think that's actually supposed to like be one of the 14 things on this video, but look at that statue. That's pretty cool.
It's for the first time or if you're a frequent visitor. First off, I'm going to recommend that you get out of Zone 1, the most central part of London. I know that if it's your first time in London, you might be drawn to Leicester Square or Piccadilly Circus and that you want to see Chinatown.
Interesting. Very interesting. Is London split up into zones? I've heard of like North, South, East, and West London, or Central London, like phrased that way? I've never heard of like Zone 1. What is Zone 1? Is London like cut up into zones? I've actually never heard it like that before, but I guess it is. Interesting. That's interesting.
And you totally should, but London is a massive city and sometimes it's pretty nice to walk.
Whoa, hold up. we haven't, I'm sorry, we haven't even gotten to like one thing yet, but they're just showing some video here that's pretty cool to me. Like, is this the underground? The tube? I've never really seen it. Like, this is like where you wait? Even this looks kind of cool to me. This isn't even supposed to be part of the video. That's cool. Look at this tunnel. It kind of looks like patched together in a weird way, though. I don't know. Okay.
It's pretty nice to walk around in an area where the cafes and pubs actually cater to locals instead of the tourists.
Sure. Okay, so his number one point so far is like, try to escape the monotony of the touristy, obvious things in London that everyone and their grandma is going to go see, and try to check out some of the obscure places or places that locals in London think are cool. That does sound like good advice. That's pretty interesting.
So try going to areas like Primrose Hill, Greenwich, Highgate or Islington and get a bit off the beaten path.
Okay. Number 2, St. Street. Was that St. Dunstan in the east or Street Dunstan? Dunstan.
This public garden is set within the ruins of the Church of St. Dunstan that was originally built around the year 1100, but like so many other buildings, it was damaged by the Great Fire of London in 1666 and it also got destroyed.
This is in London? This thing is just in London? This old, like worn down church? That is amazing. I've never heard of this before. This is just in London? This amazing old piece of architecture damaged in the Great Fire of London. Wow.
It was damaged by the Great Fire of London in 1666 and it also got destroyed pretty badly in the Blitz during World War II.
Wow.
It's a proper little hidden gem that's free to visit and if you go on a weekday you can sometimes have it all to yourself.
Huh. Honestly, I had no idea, like, that there was just old. I mean, I knew there's, like, famous architecture in London, don't get me wrong, but, not stuff like this. I've never heard it. This is St. Dunstan, I think he said?
It's super close to the Tower of London, which I won't feature in this video, but if it's your first time in London, you'll probably be in this neighborhood, so make sure to
Wow.
check out St. Dunstan's.
Nice. River cruise?
One of my all-time favorite things to do in London is to go on a boat tour on the Thames. There are
The Thames, not the Thames, the Thames. Gotta say it right. This looks fun. But I have to say, this does look like sort of a touristy thing that, like, Americans visiting London would probably do. A city cruise or something, but nonetheless, it seems very cool.
quite a few options when it comes to sightseeing cruises, but you can also just jump on the Uber boats. That's the one I'm taking here.
Uber boat? They got Ubers for boats now?
And these boats are actually part of the London Public Transport Network, which means
Really?
they're pretty cheap and super fast. It also means that you don't need to pre-book a ticket, as you can just tap in and pay for the ride with your phone or a contactless credit card.
Oh,
The
nice.
downside of taking these boats is that there's not really any information about the sites that you pass, so if you want that, you need to book onto one of the proper sightseeing cruises.
I like this. The more I see this, the more I really like this. This actually seems like a great way to see a lot of the city. It's like being in a boat on the Thames gives you a really nice viewpoint of the city. This is nice.
No matter what boat company you'll be on, there are multiple stops in central London, for example right by the London Eye, and you can take the boat over to the Tower of London or all
Nice.
the way out to Greenwich if you want to experience a different side of London.
Cool.
And now, I think it's time for some food and drink. Let's start with the
Whoa.
most British thing there ever was, going to the pub for a pint.
What is this? A pint in a pub, but not just any pub. This is not just any pub. Look at this place. Oh my goodness. Like, they already don't have pubs, really, here in America. Not actual pubs. There's, like, cheap imitations. But, as far as pubs go, I've never seen one like this before. This has, like, engravings and statues built into the wall and the ceiling. This looks like a very old pub or something.
I really think you need to do this in London, but my controversial opinion is that there are actually quite a lot of pretty bad pubs, especially in central London. These places know that they'll get business from loads of tourists, so they don't even bother creating a nice environment. So
Yeah, this is actually a really important one, I think, for American tourists, because if I went to London, I would have no idea, no concept of what would be a good pub or a bad pub, or that there even are bad pubs. I didn't really know that. So this is actually pretty valuable.
here are some of the pubs in London that I love and always try and visit when I'm in town.
The Devonshire, the Hawley Arms, Lamb and Flag. These have fantastic names, by the way. The Blackfriar, the Ship and Shovel. Oh, ye old Cheshire Cheese. This is great. They don't have names like this here in America. These are fantastic. These are fun.
And now it's time for some food. Let's start by attending church just off Oxford Street in central London. Mercato Mayfair is housed in the restored St. Mark's.
Wow. I'm just taking in some of the architecture, really. You got some of the more traditional looking, like apartments or flats or whatever they are, on either side. And then in the middle, just randomly, like this Roman Colosseum looking thing with giant pillars. What is this?
Church, and it hosts different food stalls and even restaurants with food from all over the world. I filmed this on a Saturday evening, so
Whoa. What? This is a old church that's been repurposed to a restaurant or a sort of a marketplace?
So it was quite busy, but they are also open for lunch, so...
Wow! I've never heard of this place. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, this is what I wanted to see. I am I am quite enjoying this video. This is exactly what I was hoping for. These sort of places that I'm sure these are popular in London and to locals, but I've never seen or heard of any of these places. This place in particular is insane.
So if you want to beat the crowds, then I think coming here for lunch is the way to go.
Huh. Borough Market.
Another excellent place to go if you're a foodie is the historic Borough Market. It's one of the oldest and, in my opinion, best food.
Oh wow! Oh wow! You guys just got like complete raw fish sitting out in the open. This would be a bit of a culture shock for a lot of Americans, like especially the whole fish sitting out. We don't really see dead animals, dead fish that like in America, they don't display them. It's usually just cuts of meat. So the fact that there's a whole fish sitting out there, that'd be actually kind of shocking for some Americans.
Food markets in London, and it's literally been around for almost 1,000 years, but I feel like it's getting more and more popular. So if you can, I would get here on a weekday when there aren't as many people. You can grab...
That is so cool. You could spend hours in this place. Look at all that cheese. I've never seen so much cheese.
Lunch from one of the many stalls, try some British cheese, or you can get these extremely overpriced strawberries if you want to see what the TikTok fuss is all about.
Okay. Are London strawberries famous or something? Okay. Wow. Leadenhall Market?
Leadenhall Market is a beautiful Victorian market in the city of London. It's been around since the 14th century and has an amazing atmosphere with its...
I gotta tell you, like London is just full of these incredible venues. Like you do not find stuff like this in the United States. Look at this. Look at this place. This is another market? Like some of the buildings, the restaurants, the markets, besides the fact that there's a lot of cool stuff there to look around and buy and have fun just exploring, the actual place is incredible.
Its stunning glass roof and cobblestone walkways. You kinda need to know where it is because it's pretty hidden behind...
I can't help but wonder, if you live in London, does this get old? Like, do you ever get used to this? I can't imagine living in London and this sort of thing just being normal. This is just incredible to me.
Behind all the newly built skyscrapers in this part of London, there are plenty of shops, pubs and restaurants here, so whether you're looking for a tasty snack or just want to do a bit of shopping, it's a cool little spot to go. I like to get a drink in this pub and sit outside and just people watch.
So cool! The trendy East London and Brick Lane.
If you want to hang out with the cool kids, you need to head east.
Okay.
Brick Lane and the whole area of Shoreditch used to be a proper up-and-coming area 20 years.
This is also where Jack the Ripper roamed. Okay.
Years ago, and it is still a super cool place to go if you're into that artsy and slightly hipster kind of vibe. Brick Lane is home to a lot of cool vintage shops and some of the best curry houses in London, and I know that sounds like a weird mix, but it's actually a super fun place to go and hang out for a few hours.
You can go thrift shopping for clothing, and get curry. Oh my gosh. Another thing. I think London is a lot bigger than I realized. Like, it just seems like there's endless neighborhoods and areas of London that I've never heard of. Just endless. London must be gigantic.
And if you're a music lover, I'd highly recommend checking out the Rough Trade stall, where they've got a massive selection of vinyl, merch and books.
I actually really like stuff like that. Shopping around, sort of thrifty shopping, and you go and you're not even sure what you're looking for, and you just find cool stuff. I like that. Camden Town and Market, another market.
Camden Town is another place you must visit if you're into music and
Wow.
especially alternative rock and roll. So head up to Camden Market where you'll find hundreds of stalls selling vintage clothes, band merch and all kinds of bits and bobs.
Again?
Now, Camden Market
Bits and bobs. He said the thing. That's a very British expression. Bits and bobs. I like that.
is a bit touristy, but I just remember coming here when I was a teenager.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even trying to pause it so much, but I can't stop. Every single second there's some cool market, or look at this little alleyway in brick with endless little shops and stores. Man, this would be cool. So much stuff to see. There's almost too much stuff.
And just spending hours walking around checking out all the
What?
cool stuff. So if you're a bit of an indie kid or if you're traveling to London with teenagers, then Camden Market is a must-do.
Okay. Nice. Primrose Hill.
If you're in Camden, I'd recommend walking up to Primrose Hill and get
Oh.
a stunning view over London.
Oh, wow. This isn't technically in London, or is it? It doesn't matter. This is nice. Yes, this is exactly the kind of thing I mean that you don't ever hear about in America. Like these are good tips, I gotta say. This has been a good list. This is a cool place to get like a overview and look at London in its entirety. Nice.
The area itself is also super nice and it feels pretty residential even though it's so close to the more touristy Camden Town. You could also try and get free tickets for the Sky Garden or Horizon 22. These two places are basically free public gardens on the highest floors of skyscrapers and they're
wow.
known to have some of the best views of London. The
Oh,
tickets
wow.
are free but need to be pre-booked, so as soon as you know when you'll be in London, head over to these websites and book a ticket.
Wow. Use public transport.
Don't be afraid to utilize public transport in
I also think utilizing the London public transport is a part of the experience. Like, I would say a lot of Americans would enjoy using the public transport. I don't know if locals enjoy it. It's just a way of life. It's for practical use for locals, but for visitors, it's like, oh, we gotta try the London Tube. Look how cramped and tunnely it is. Wow, great, amazing.
London. It is super convenient and easy to use. You've got the iconic red buses and an extensive tube network, which is the metro, so don't be afraid to use public transport even if it's your first time in London. You can just tap in with your phone or a contactless card and navigate the city using Google Maps or an app like Citymapper.
Nice, nice. British Museum.
Alright, so this one is one of those famous things.
Wow, look at this place. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize there was like architecture like this in London. Americans don't really see this stuff. This looks like with the columns and the again, I compare it to like Roman architecture or something. I'm not sure what you call it.
To do in London, but it is worth doing. So I wanted to mention going to the British Museum because I
Sure.
genuinely think that this is something every visitor to London should at least consider doing.
Okay. This one again is like pretty obvious. Most Americans would probably think of going to the British Museum, but it's so good, it still deserves a place on the list. Okay, I can respect that.
The museum is massive and it's home to an amazing collection of artifacts from all over the world, including probably the most famous one, the Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone? The Rosetta Stone is in the British Museum? Really? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Best of all, it's free to enter and you can spend as much time as you want exploring. Just remember that you need to pre-book a time slot on their website.
That's cool. Harry Potter Studios?
If you like wizards, then you need to get up north to the Harry Potter Studios. It is a proper full-day tour, but if you're...
Oh, no way! No way! I didn't know this was a thing. Oh my gosh, so many Americans would love this. I'm getting a little excited here.
For a Harry Potter fan, then I really think you should do this.
Yes!
You can walk through the Great Hall, learn about the special effects, and just proper feel like you're on the set of a Harry Potter film.
I did not know this was a thing in London. This is... wow, okay.
Just make sure you buy tickets well in advance, as they always sell out.
Right. That's so cool. St. Paul's Cathedral.
In my opinion, St. Paul's is the most iconic cathedral in all of London.
I've heard of St. Paul's Cathedral. I've heard of the name, but I can't say that I know what it looks like. So this is actually quite cool to me. I've never seen it.
Quite pricey to visit, and it's also just nice to look at from the outside, but if you do pay, you'll be able to get up to the dome and get a spectacular view of London. Subscribe to the channel for more travel content, and if you enjoyed this video, please...
Oh my, wow, okay, that's the end. Wow, that was really enjoyable. I was really pleasantly surprised by... I love that this focused on a lot of areas and specific places in London that I've never heard of before. They're not talked about in America. I loved that. So interesting. So many cool things. I had no idea. By the way, this video is by Destination Well Known. I gotta give it a like, because that was quite good. That was very well done. Good 14 things. I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on these 14 things to do in London, or if there's other stuff in London that should have been on this list, that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.